Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is the 6th of May, 2021. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to the stock market, right? Everybody was really excited to get here to the market this morning, I'm sure. After a crazy and sideways market, it feels like almost 2 months of just kind of the same thing over and over. I know it's been very difficult, but I hope that I can help at least guide you and give you some levels that will help with your day. We're going to keep it pretty short today. I'm going to go over some ETFs to include SPY, QQQ, DIA, IWM, and then we're going to take a look at Tesla, PayPal, and Triple M. And then I may end it up here with one of my favorites that have been treating us really well, and that is XLE. Just kind of give you that bigger picture, what I'm seeing there, why I keep buying, why I keep trimming and then buying again, and so forth. So we'll go over that here in a few seconds. Nonetheless, ES Futures, always my baby. I want to come to this. I want to teach you this. If you don't know anything about ES Futures, it really can help you trade so many other instruments and kind of keep you from going too big. As you all know, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I've been making it very apparent that I'm only trading 5 to 6% of my account right now. 5 to 6%, it's a nice little chunk of money, but it's definitely lower allocation during this time. It's not easy, so I want to be small right now. Okay, we do have some jobless claims coming out, and I do believe that this is going to be the econ data that actually gets the trend going. When I say gets the trend going, I don't necessarily mean to the upside. Okay, so I'm just saying maybe we get some sort of direction. All right. ES futures, remember every 10 points or so, we're looking for $1 in the SPY. When we look at the bigger picture, I'm going to take you into the monthly. All right. Now, it's been quite some time since the monthly candle has gone inside. Let me just go ahead and point out a few of these inside candles. There's one here, there's two here, and I could keep going back and showing you that. Typically, an inside candle is going to be the first sign of a reversal in the previous trend. The previous trend here is a nice move up. So what does this mean? Well, if this is May's candle that's happening right now, that's inside, this could be a very boring sideways month if this candle can't hold at least 40% of this previous candle. Okay? So typically what will happen are the bulls will keep price above a certain percentage of this candle. So far, they're doing a pretty good job. If we start to break the low of this month, then I would be concerned and I would be looking for price to resort back into the 4,000 level or down here towards the green box. If you've been watching me for months on end or even years, you know that our blueprints work very well. We take the ride into the red box. We are cautious here, 5 to 6% for me right now, 5 to 6% allocation, and I'm just going to kind of hold there. Now, currently in my portfolio, I am holding some hedge and I have some long on, mostly long and then some hedge. Okay, so if the candle is going to stay inside this week or this month, my apologies, then most likely we're not going to see price over 41.83 by the end of May. That sounds boring. Current price is at 41.64. Okay, now understand that this is a monthly candle and price can fluctuate during that entire month. So I'm still ready if for some reason this candle wants to break over the all-time high, then I'll be watching that and I will continue to ride that trend up. That does not mean by the end of May that it cannot come back into and under the 41.83 level. Something we'll be watching closely. Again, if we start breaking down below the low of this month, then I would be concerned and looking for 4,000. Okay? So that's the ES futures on a monthly. Now, the title today going out for this specific periscope that I'm doing right now is this has to happen in order for the market to not go down. That's important. So when we look across the board, we have this 4-hour EMA cloud, right? And I use the 9, the 22, and the 44 specifically related to trendy methodology. We use supply and demand, we use trendy edges, we use range, and we definitely use Fibonacci. If you don't know anything about Fibonacci or you want to take your fibs to the next level, come join us for a trial this week specifically, and we'll be doing a fib class on Sunday at 9 a.m. Central. All right, it's going to be an awesome class. I hope to see you there. So this morning we're underneath this EMA cloud. Okay, this is resistance until proven you know, otherwise. And you can see that really at the end of the day, you want to short term be in a trade as long as we are above this cloud. Okay, notice how price trends very nicely. And then we're kind of saved by certain EMAs in here, right? But now we're under, and you can see the momentum change. These are green candles to white candles to red candles. We move up into the EMA cloud, and notice every time we get close, we just break down. Okay? So as long as we stay underneath here, then I would expect price to continue down. This is called the H pattern, lowercase h. I call it the hope pattern because a lot of traders are just sitting, waking up every day, hoping that we may start to go bid above this cloud. I'm there right with you, I promise. Okay? So, what do bulls need? The bigger picture, we need to get up here towards 4189, 4183 level. And right now, with the jobless claims coming out, I wouldn't be surprised to see a quick spike into this cloud, but can we get over? Please watch this as we see the econ data. If we could start to get over and then we pull back just a tad to retest and then make higher highs, it's starting to look a little bit better. Possible move into 83, 89, and so forth. And as I said on the monthly, we would have to take out the ATH. Okay? So this is just for today with this data. If we can get above the cloud, maybe it will be a nice day. Okay? If we cannot get above that cloud, what would you expect? I would expect the H pattern. Now, there's something really important about the H pattern that I found after studying it for quite some time, and that is you have to pay attention, okay, to this previous low. So, sure, price could end up looking like an H, and typically it will come down about 88.7%. And then as soon as you think it's going to be, we'll find that bigger bid come up and then retest the EMA cloud. Okay, so bigger picture, look to see if we take out the pivot low. If we don't, then perhaps again just another sideways day. Also, if you're into shapes, you could see something like this, right here. And if we were to bounce right around that cloud, it'd be like this, and then possibly back down. Okay? All right, so big deal. ES 4 hour, pull it out. Make sure you're paying attention to it today and see if we can get over the 9, the 22, whatever you use. Just see if we can get over that cloud. Okay? All right, so that's going to lead us into our ETFs. So I'm going to pull these up really quick. And you all know I use the neutral strategy. Basically, long above the neutral, short below the neutral into targets. Notice here we did break down underneath the neutral. Okay, we did hit T1, almost hit T2, looking like an H pattern. Same thing on a 4 hour, we need to get above that cloud. All right, so over here on the Qs, we're underneath the neutral. Notice we hit T1, T2, T3, and we're looking like an H pattern. If we start to take out these lows, I would expect 325 and continue to ride that trend to the downside underneath the cloud. Qs are going to be the same exact way. Can we get over this cloud? We're going to need a catalyst, and perhaps the catalyst would be the jobs. Okay? All right, over here on DIA, notice the strength in the Dow. We started noticing this yesterday. Nice little break of the trending line. Also, on the neutral, we came pretty close down to the lower edge of the neutral. I would call this lower on the curve. Buyers did sweep in. And you can see we push right up here towards the 342 level. Very interesting, as all of these are just kind of hanging out showing an H pattern. The DIA is showing us some strength. So if I were you, I'd be looking at the Dow, looking maybe at the top 10 holdings or so, or find something in there that piques your interest. Look for your setups and say, okay, this is in the Dow. DIA, if it can continue above 342.52, could see 344.75 and 347. So we'll get into some names here in a minute. IWM underneath neutral. Notice it hit T1, close to T2, coming back. Looks like the same thing, an H pattern. All right, so not much to talk about these, but they could be at support. If they take out the previous low, look for continuation into these targets that are on my screen. 410, 408, over here on Qs, 325. If DIA breaks down again, look for support around 341. And if IWM continues down, look for 220.67, possibly 217. All right, just going to move this out of the way. We're going to get back into specific names. Let's look at Tesla. All right, so Tesla is up about $8 or $9, and I started a longer term trade in this. And I just want to get over here to make sure I give you the right options that I'm in, and I am no way telling you to buy these. I just love being transparent, letting you know what I'm doing. So 43 days out on Tesla, I went ahead and I bought out of the money. All right, because it is volatile. I don't want to be at the money at the moment because we're not trending. Okay, so I'm just kind of getting my fillers out there. And I have about 1,400 bucks, 1,200 bucks. So again, small in this position for the 850 calls. Okay, 850 calls. What I'm looking for is a previous move that we had a pivot high or an extension up into this level here at 848. You can see where we had the momentum change from green to red, and from there things really like slowed down and died. For now, for this trade plan, I'm going to take you into a weekly. Okay. All right, so here we are. We do have a momentum change. I think that's obvious. We have a shelf of supply. We have inside and downs right in here. Notice that when price left here, that would be these candles. We had pretty big selling pressure, right? And at one time, we even popped into this area. And then we sold off. This is what we expect from this shelf of supply. Now we're just kind of going sideways. Notice that we also tried again. So two times we've tried to get into this supply up here. Okay? Now, the idea here is if we can hold the trendy edges down here around 645, that we will then move back up towards this shelf of supply again, or just call it resistance. If we break the third time, I would expect them to let us in the door and just slowly melt up into this 848, 850. They did have a catalyst this morning. Might have been last night, some news coming out saying they've already sold all their cars for their quarter, which is really bullish. But in this market, who knows? So I want to give you the technicals. Again, 645 needs to hold. I'm looking for a move into 850. Now, another thing that I did, all right, is I have about 1,500 bucks here in the 850s, 1,400 bucks, and then over on the 15th, I bought a put debit spread, okay? And I bought the 620 and sold the 600. Why? Because it's a round number, but also it kind of gets us down into lower here on the support. Now, the cool thing about this debit spread, if I hit those numbers and get right in between that little pocket, it actually pays for the longer call side. Okay, and I'm probably going to hold it on for about 50% stop or so. All right, that's what I'm looking for in Tesla. All right, so PayPal, they had a catalyst. They had their earnings last night, and guess what? They're actually up. That's weird, right? Well, yesterday we were working on 3 weeks down. Now, something I noticed in the market is that most names, most good names, and especially like even when we're talking about the futures or the SPY, it's very unlikely that we continue down more than 3 weeks. That's kind of the given. I mean, usually that's like an oversold event. All right. So we're working on 3 weeks down here in PayPal. And if you were to go back and look at your weekly candles, you're going to see the same thing. 3 days down, boom, big pop, right? Very unlikely you see 3 weeks. Now, unless there's a major catalyst. If there's a major catalyst, it's a whole different thing, right? COVID, good example. North Korea, China, all those type of things, when we have a big pullback, it doesn't care about 3 weeks. However, pattern recognition does suggest that after about 3 weeks, we start to find buyers. Okay, so PayPal just happened to be at 3 weeks down. It happened to be right here in the cloud. It also happened to be right here at the trendy edge, and we do look for support in this area. So I'm going to take you over to the 4 hour. Remember, today's theme is all about the 4 hour cloud. Notice that we had a nice pop. This risk was already here for our trade plan. You can see that price came right into my risk, pushed right back up. It's at or around $11 up, but notice that it's still under the 4 hour cloud. Notice that the candles are red, not green, not white, but red. Okay, so we are opening up in resistance. We did the same thing yesterday and the market ended up selling off. So, what does PayPal need to do? It needs to get above this damn cloud, right? So, I'm not really impressed with PayPal unless it can start to show us higher highs in this area here. I need price above 263.15. Now, I took some debit spreads into earnings. I love doing that. These things were only, I think, 23 or 30 bucks, something like that, and they pay out over 10x. What do I need on that? I need it above 270. Do I think it can do that? I surely do. If for some reason it breaks above the cloud, gets above this 263.15, we can see price move right here into or around 273 by 275. The move itself will give you this nice cup. I would expect resistance here and possibly a cup and handle into the next couple weeks. This is what I'm looking at. Okay. On the put side, if for some reason we start to break down below this cloud, then again, I'm looking for an H pattern, and you could see price come down towards the 250 and maybe even back to 239. Okay. That's what I'm looking on PayPal. So again, major levels above 263.15, and then again underneath the cloud, possibly around 254.50. All right. So we went over PayPal, we went over Tesla, and let's see here. Let's go over Triple M. All right. So I took some lower probability is what I call them, weekly trades on Triple M. I think it's doing pretty well. It's got momentum from red to white to green. We're at what we call the trendy edge. Notice I have two edges on here. And we have this ATH that's coming in here at around 203. Let me just check one thing. Yeah, I apologize. So the overall, let's get over here, not ATH, but right here in this cycle, okay, of candles, we need to break right above this blue dotted line to get me into 206, and then we have a little bit of supply right here at 214. So a swing trade, I mean 214 is definitely a viable target. Okay, but far as today is concerned, we're looking for this 203.17 and then possibly 206. So again, bids need to come in here and stay above 199.79. Okay, as long as we stay in here, even if we get a little pullback, what I'd be looking for is a break. Once we break here, I'm looking for that move into 203. And if we could break above this shelf here, I'm looking for 205, 206. That's Triple M. So these are my focus trades, and now I want to show you one trade that's really been working out for me. It has been more or less my larger trade. It's pulled back a little bit this morning, but let's look at it from a higher time frame. Okay. Now I have lightened up on this, but I know that a lot of traders are interested in XLE and kind of, what was my thought process? Why did I take it? Why did I put more money in it than other trades? And that's important. So notice something right away. We have Buyers coming in above the cloud. We have this rounding bottom, and as we went above here, this is where I started to get interested in XLE. It's like a perfect move into supply. Also, if you look across here, okay, follow my eyes. Notice the trendy indicators right here showing you this red arrow. That's pretty cool. I believe I have the best scripts out there, the best levels, and I will stick to that. Notice that this was here months ago. Notice that price left, moved up, and as soon as it got here, it then rejected just like we expected right around this area. Now, just like another name that I showed you earlier, price is moving or trying to move for the second attempt into this area. I do believe 2 to 3 times of trying to hit this, we will break it. And when we do, I expect 55 by 61. Okay? Avoid for this for me would be a close under the weekly 9. Notice that the weekly 9 is quite, not too far away, but around 49.25. That's XLE. So again, continued strength, looking for a move up into at or around 57. If you have any questions or you like what you see, please reach out to me. You can find me right here. Also, check us out at TrendyTrading.co. If you like the material, please give me a like. Please give me a retweet. I'm out here for you guys doing what I am. This is a free session, and I really appreciate your support. Have a great day.